A very close friend of mine got cancer when we were young, when we were in our 20s. She froze her eggs and she always said, "If I can't carry my babies, you'll carry my babies."
It was a calling for me, becoming pregnant, carrying a child, but yet to somebody else or to an intended parent. It was a miracle. It was something so out of their reach.
I put a message out to a mom's group here locally in Colorado, and one of the gals in the group said that she had used a surrogate through ConceiveAbilities.
I had gotten a ton of information from the website and felt really comfortable going there. And once I met with Deb and Kathy at the office, I felt like it was the right place for me.
If you hadn't had a child of your own, you're not prepared for the ups and downs of pregnancy, for the emotions that could occur after pregnancy. So it's very important that a surrogate have had at least one child of her own.
Each pregnancy is unique, each set of intended parents is unique, each match is unique.
I remember a 500 question bubble test about my personality.
Gestational carriers need to go through some form of psychological testing, and that's important because we want to make sure that they are suitable for their role.
It's very important to us to be able to review OB and medical records from at least one previous pregnancy.
A caseworker actually came out to my home and met my husband and talked to him and made sure that he was going to be a really solid support person in my life.
There's a lot that's involved that people don't think to ask, and it's our job to ask those tough questions beforehand.
We want to work with people that we know that we can trust and that I know are going to do well with this process without regret and feel really good about it.
I definitely remember meeting the intended parents for the first time. It was a little nerve-wracking. It kind of felt like a first date.
It has to be a match on both sides. We both have to say yes. It really comforted me that there was such an extensive process and that they were so picky, because I think that it just shows that they are trying to make the best matches possible for the intended parents.
I was matched last June, and first I had to get medical clearance through my intended parents' fertility agency. And once that happened, we started the legal process where we drafted a contract and agreed to sort of what everyone's expectations were.
Parts about their relationship, like if the intended parents live out of town, how often will they come in? Is the surrogate okay with the intended mom coming to appointments? Legal is pretty thorough.
Then in February of this year, we transferred 2 embryos and only a couple weeks later found out we were pregnant with twins.
The day of the embryo transfer was amazing. We had the intended parents there, and my husband was there. And at first, my husband and I were wondering, would this be awkward to have them there? And afterwards, we both agreed, not at all. We wouldn't have had it any other way.
When you're pregnant, people ask you questions. So I get things like, when are you due? And do you know what you're having? Usually my response is, I'm having twins and they're not mine. I'm caring for somebody else, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive.
This experience has these ripples that you don't even really think about. It affected all of us. It affected our entire family. And my mom became so emotionally invested in this process, and she really she called herself a surrogate grandmother, and she was in the room when the baby was born, and it's amazing how much it affected everybody's life.
I went into this knowing that they're not my babies, they're my intended parents' babies, and seeing them as a family unit is what I look forward to more than anything.
We don't have to be concerned with this idea that they have this hurdle to overcome, that they're giving away something. What they are giving is an opportunity to build a family to somebody else.
I think it's easier for them to understand than it is for most adults.
You know, I think because my children were younger, it made it very easy to explain. I'm sure I over-explained and I didn't need to.
They've met my intended parents several times, and so I think that helps kind of bring the whole thing full circle for them.
There was one woman whose son said that, his mom was a superwoman. She was superwoman, she was a superhero.
First, she's got to go through all of that screening and workup, and a surrogate is involved in the screening process, I'd say a good 4 to 6 months. And once they're matched, that process leading up to the embryo transfer can be as long as 6 months. So you're looking at a woman who has to have the wherewithal and the stamina to go the distance.
My job as a case manager is to know at all times what's going on in their surrogacy journey, because I need to be able to talk with the intended parents at any time to update them should they have a question or concern.
My case manager has been amazing. Anytime I've reached out to her, she really is, there for me 100%. There's never, been an issue that we couldn't fix together, as a team.
I was in contact with my case manager, Kathy, a lot through the process. We would talk on the phone and we would email, and then I saw her once a month at support group meetings.
Take my job very seriously, and this is because we're dealing with these human beings in very human interactions and a lot of emotion.
Our monthly support group is really helpful, and I look forward to that and just catching up. I think you get really invested in some of the other girls and their story and how they're doing.
Right away, right off the bat, the support component was just one of the many, many things I loved about becoming a surrogate.
Besides actually giving birth to the baby, it was the best thing that came out of the whole process. I made a best friend through our surrogacy group. We still keep in touch. We're still very, very close.
People in our lives, while they're very supportive and they are so kind and understanding of all these different ups and downs we go through, they don't understand some of the complexities of the situation. And so it's nice to go and be around other women who understand, and also just to get some feedback from ConceiveAbilities. There's always one of the staff members there that runs the group.
The first step is to choose the right agency. And for me, ConceiveAbilities was perfect because they have seen it all before.
Ask really good questions. How much support is there going to be? That's the real big key. How knowledgeable are they in the process? How many previous surrogates have they already had? And just ask a lot of questions to make sure that they're really getting in with a company who cares about you and is invested in you as their surrogate.
Being able to see them hold those babies for the very first time is, God, it even makes me, I'm so excited for them.